Tom Brady just ruined the Raiders' 2023 plans.
I can tell you unequivocally, like, this is a fact. The Raiders are looking into it. Like, the Raiders are looking into going and acquiring Tom Brady.
Tom Brady back with Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas with Davante Adams, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfro, and a defense that they won all in on. Is that like the most obvious thing of all time? Is that what we're assuming is going to take place?
Eric's going to find a new team. The Raiders are going to move on. The Raiders will have a new quarterback. Maybe it's Tom Brady. That was exciting, right? You guys enjoyed that the other day? That'd be fun.
Yes, this is something that the Raiders are doing their research on.
All of the top NFL insiders have been saying that the Raiders are interested in Tom Brady. The question has always been, does Tom Brady want to play with the Raiders? Are the Raiders good enough to win a Super Bowl right now, especially in the tough AFC West division? And by the way, the AFC West has gotten more difficult with Sean Payton becoming the head coach of the Denver Broncos. He will definitely be able to help Mr. Unlimited Russell Wilson. So if you're Tom Brady and you're looking at the Raiders, what do you have? You have a coach and a GM who you know personally, who you're familiar with. You have great weapons in Davante Adams, Darren Waller, and Hunter Renfro. You have a great run game, but you have an O-line that struggles in pass protection. And you have a defense that does not have many playmakers outside of Max Crosby. On top of that, you are in the toughest division in the NFL, the AFC West. So Tom Brady looked at this Raiders team, looked at Josh McDaniels, looked at Mark Davis, and decided to say no. And Tom Brady has officially announced his retirement while he was hanging out near the beach. He posted a video and got a little emotional.
To every single one of you for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors.
But I think the Botox kept Brady from expressing too much emotion. The main thing now is the number one QB that the Raiders wanted this offseason is completely out of the picture now. And this is insane because we kept hearing so many reports that the Raiders were interested in Tom Brady and it just felt inevitable. We know Mark Davis is in love with the guy. He just had him visit Vegas this past year. And like Dana White explained, Mark Davis tried to acquire Brady in 2020, but then John Gruden backed out of the deal. From Josh McDaniels, genius Josh's perspective, Brady made too much sense after his horrible season in 2022. Brady would have been able to either help Josh McDaniels this year, and even if they were not successful, McDaniels could tell Davis, hey, I'm getting your guy at QB. And honestly, I am so stoked that the Raiders are going to have to look elsewhere at quarterback. If Brady would have come to Vegas, it would seem too perfect and scripted, especially given the fact that the Super Bowl is in Vegas this year. And my biggest complaint with Brady is that he always gets help from the refs. He's been caught cheating before. It's obvious. Everybody knows it. But he still tries to talk trash even though he knows he gets help from the league. And we know for a fact he was talking trash on Derek Carr during an episode of The Shop. We know that the mysterious team that was all in on Brady and then backed out in 2020 was the Raiders.
Interested, and all of a sudden they weren't interested at the very end. I was sitting there thinking, you're sticking with that mother.
So Derek Carr, DC, was that mother effer. Keep in mind, we know Brady is actually retiring this time. Last offseason, he tried to retire, but this year he's a free agent, so he does not need to fake retire like he did last year when he was trying to go to a different team. And the Raiders are in a rough spot now that Brady has chosen to retire. They may even have to convince that mother effer Derek Carr to stay this year. I mean, Carr is still in Vegas. He's playing in the Pro Bowl this week, but the Raiders really are screwed in terms of finding a veteran quarterback right now unless they have some type of backup plan. Maybe the Raiders could make a play for Aaron Rodgers. We know Davante Adams would like that. He posted on Instagram a picture of Aaron Rodgers and just put the word literally. However, if Carr did not get along with McDaniels, we know Carr has a friendship with Aaron Rodgers. They know each other.
One of the guys I talked to the most, probably Aaron. You know, Aaron. Is that right? Yeah. Since I came up in the league, he's always been someone I could reach out to. He gave me his number. He said, if you need anything ever.
So Rodgers and McDaniels might clash. We also know that Rodgers is going to come at a steep price. Not only will you have to give up draft picks to acquire him, but he has that $58 million bonus that you're going to have to pay. But we know Davante Adams wants to play with a great quarterback. He came here to play with Derek Carr. He made comments this offseason saying that he went to the Raiders because he did not want to do anything like play for Jordan Love.
Where I'm in my career, and this isn't a shot at anybody, any other quarterbacks or in Green Bay, I love Jordan Love, especially he's a great guy, but I got aspirations of doing really, really big things and being remembered. And I just, it just wasn't really a point in my career that I was willing to sacrifice Aaron not being there, after a year or two. So,
but lately, even after the Derek Carr drama, Davante Adams has been speaking positively about the Raiders. But let's be honest, man, what else is he supposed to say while he's under contract with the Raiders? But Davante Adams did say that he would like to be a part of the process in finding the next QB. Maybe that's Aaron Rodgers. The Raiders, though, this past offseason traded for Jarrett Stidham. They sent over a 6th-round pick. New England sent over Stidham and a 7th-round pick. And he does know the offense. He flashed at times in the few games that he was able to play this past year. But does Josh McDaniels really believe someone like Jarrett Stidham is the franchise guy? And would Davante Adams really be excited about playing with Jarrett Stidham? Jimmy Garoppolo also seems like an option, but we know this guy has dealt with tons of injuries and really seems like more of a bridge QB. So maybe the Raiders will decide to draft a new QB. Maybe Davante Adams is cool with that and down to be a part of that process. But this would be a dramatic shift from his Jordan Love comments that he made this past offseason. We also have to consider right now, do the Raiders want to continue with Davante Adams? Do they want to keep Davante Adams? Or would they be into trading him if they really are rebuilding? And if you're not a contender, it really does not make sense to even have Davante Adams. And based on Davante Adams' contract, it is a real possibility that the Raiders could trade him and not lose too much money. Davante Adams did sign a big contract last offseason, but the 2023 and 2024 salaries and bonuses do not fully guarantee until March of this year. So if the Raiders did move on from Davante Adams, they would only be on the hook for that $19 million signing bonus that they already paid him for 2022. So the Raiders, if they are trying to stack assets for the future, then trading Davante Adams is a real possibility. The Raiders are already planning on freeing up cap space by moving on from Derek Carr. We heard rumors from Jeremy Fowler that apparently teams are inquiring about Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow. They believe these players to be on the block. And we know Mark Davis said last year in the introductory press conference for Josh McDaniels that it's not a rebuild and they're just trying to get to the next level and win the Super Bowl.
Now we're just moving to the next level, and that it's not a rebuild, it's not a reload, it's just taking this to the next level and getting to that Super Bowl and winning some championships.
But maybe Genius Josh does have permission from Mark Davis to completely rebuild this team. And if the Raiders do look to the draft for their next quarterback, they could end up in a situation where they're like the Bengals and the Eagles. They have a franchise QB on a rookie contract. And this can happen while the rest of the AFC West is paying big money for quarterbacks and Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and soon to be Justin Herbert. This would be a slow process, but right now it might be the wisest choice. The Raiders currently have the 7th overall pick in the draft, and they may not have a pick this high for a long time. We did talk about the prospect of the Raiders drafting Florida Gators quarterback Anthony Richardson. Dave Ziegler and some Raiders scouts did watch him play live last year. Check out this video where we talk more about the Raiders and Anthony Richardson, and make sure you like this video if you have not yet, and subscribe to this channel for more Raiders content. My name is WiFiWillie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.